Okay, well, I can do that too. Some of you that might know that. Hello, my name is Kimzey. I am the director of our Weedloo ensemble called the Monmouth College Pipe Band. We're from Monmouth, Illinois, located about an hour to the east. And so we are a band comprised of bagpipes, what is that one, and drums. So the first part of the discussion I'd like to talk about today is, so what is a pipe band? So a pipe band is usually comprised of a couple ranks of bagpipers, then filled in by a snare line, a couple snare drums, and a bass drum. You know, there's usually no other instruments more than the four of us, and we come in all shapes and sizes. I'm going to start off by explaining, so what makes up the bagpipe? So the bagpipe is made up of the drums, which you see here, which are, and every bagpipe is distinctly unique. There's no one bagpipe that's exactly the same compared to the other one. Mine is made of a blackwood and nickel. Some others are completely plastic. And some are made of a different kind of wood with the mounts being different material. Mine is nickel. That's what it's made of. So how does the bagpipe necessarily work? So what you mostly hear throughout the bagpipe is like the melody coming off the channel. And there are only 9 notes, no sharps, no flats. So the bagpipe feels frustrated by traditional music. The bagpipe might be your thing. So inside the bagpipe there are 4 reeds. So in the chanter itself, there's like what most people would think of as like a double-bladed vocal reed. So that's what's giving the main melody of the note. And inside the bagpipe itself is 4 different kind of cylindrical long reeds, probably like that. And what those do is they give you that like droning constant sound. It's at a relatively like low pitch. And so that's what provides like the additional stuff. So outside of the chanter and drums, the next part of the bagpipe is the blowpipe. And so the blowpipe is what we use to put air into the bag to inflate it. If any of you are familiar enough like with the organ, there's like a compressor inside the organ that feeds constant air. That's what we pipers are doing for our bag, keeping the bag constantly inflated. I'll show you the bag. In themselves as well. Mine is actually made from a cowhide. More traditional bagpipers play with sheepskin bags, and that's what many people often think of when they see a bagpipe. They think of some poor sheep that was slaughtered and used for parts of the bagpipe in the Highlands of Scotland. That may be the case. I don't know. Other bags, such as it is holding, is a completely synthetic bag. And that gives it its own unique sound as well. And there's also a goatskin bag, so it's like really like players' personal preference of what they want. And depending on what kind of bag you have, like on your bagpipe, is the kind of sound it will produce. Like like I said with the sheepskin bag, it's way higher up there. You get much more rich sound coming out of your bagpipe than you have a sheep bag. But all in all, inside. Bagpipes here, we're all unique individuals playing unique instruments. So now I will have the band just introduce themselves. Starting off here is Kieran Marshall, who comes from sunny Australia, of all places. Has been in band for probably coming up on 6 years maybe, yeah. So Kieran and I were in the band together when we were undergrad students, but now that we live in Western Illinois, we play together all the time. Next is the former director of the program, Dr. Tim Tibbetts, former professor of biology at Monmouth. He is the one who kind of got me started on bagpiping, and let some poor wafer wanderer from Mount Pleasant come into his office and get started on this. Next is our newest student, Imogen Schmitz from Woodbridge, Illinois. United Presbyterian in Mount Pleasant, or So next is one of our newest members on fair drum, Kimzey. Also playing with Celtic Cross Pipes and Drums out of Eureka, Illinois. Next is my drum sergeant, lead drummer, Scots from Chicago. And then on bass drum and Trentino, also from Chicago. I am very thankful for the students I have in my band, because the pipe band is mostly comprised of students and faculty, college alumni, and just community members in general. Nothing is saying that you have to be a Monmouth person who went to Monmouth College or know someone who plays bagpipes. Next, I will have Peter kind of show off his snare drum. So what makes the Scottish snare drum different than your typical American snare drum is the tension in the head. Peter, if you want to go again, whack, play something real quick. Yeah, so it's completely different. The tension in the heads are different, and the way he holds his stick is a completely different style.
Sticks are held in traditional grip, so one stick like this and the other the thumb and the elbows rested on the fingers, and this match grip. And one of the other main differences is in traditional, DCI marching band, it's a lot of 16-note rudiment focus, but in Scottish drumming, it's pretty much all triplet based and subdivided to the field. Like a triplet is like a small field. That's one of the main differences.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and play another tune for you guys. We're going to be playing this tune called Highland Cathedral. And I just hope you guys enjoy it. So this will feature a snare intro by Peter, and then I kind of control the dynamics of the bagpipes. We often have to cut in and out. There's no way where we can just stop. It's one constant motion of the air going through your instrument while playing. that was actually written by a German composer. I like his name. But it's funny how people in Germany had like such love for instruments. Check. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right. So we're going to start the show back from the beginning. So that tune was written actually by a German composer, like I said, just for his love of bagpipes and the whole Highland-esque environment of Scotland. So you're able to hear on that tune is that Peter was able to go up on the move his sticks forward on the drum head, increasing in the volume, because there is no volume control for the bagpipe. Don't ask, I'm not going to put one on there. So he was able to do that, and bagpiping tunes actually come in a whole range of time signatures. There's the traditional marches that you often hear associated with the bagpipes, and then there's also a thing called a stress peg, which is a type of Scotch dance. When you see people in kilts dancing about on top of swords, I know that's a risk hazard, but that's actually the type of dance they're doing is part of the strass peg. That's a traditional Scotch dance. There's jigs, there's hornpipes, there's different time signatures for the marches. So there's really something for everyone when you're playing bagpipes. There's slow airs. We'll play one of those later. I think you guys probably know what that is that we're going to play. So there's just a little bit of everything for you in the bagpipe. So how you start the bagpipe, I guess I probably should explain this, is that when air is going into the bag, it just sits there. It's not moving about. And so what you have to do is you have to often strike the bag. So you'll see all of us almost hit our bag. And I promise the bags are fine. We're not abusing our instruments by any means. So you strike the bag and that gets air going. And the reeds that I explained earlier in the bag, you have to calibrate them to your blowing strength. Every one of us has different calibrations of reeds going on, and so it's really how you set up the instrument is how it's going to work for you. It's easier for the instrument when it works for you than against you, and that's why a lot of people often have a hard time playing the bagpipes, is because there's so much going on, and there's a lot of physics involved too when you're playing the bagpipes. You have to consider your body heat and the environment around you, if you're in the sun or in the shade. And so I'll go ahead and demonstrate how striking up the bag. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate it on this side of the crowd here on how to strike up the bag and inflate it, and then I'll walk over there and do it for the same side. And so you'll notice when I was striking on my bag that there are no drones falling behind or trailing. That's where stressing the importance of having your instrument well maintained and drones calibrated to your playing strength comes into hand. Because if even one thing is wrong, this instrument will not cooperate. Believe me, I've been there and done that and have had many frustrating nights trying to get my bagpipe to work. So next, we'll kind of go into demonstrating the tenor drum. So what the tenor drum does is fill in the just like medley parts in between where the bass drum is. And so what tenors do sometimes is a thing called flourishing, and that's just for the visual effect. But the main important aspect of the tenor drum is to fill in the middle voices of the band. And we're very thankful for Kimzey donating her, or giving her time to be a part of this band, because it really goes a long way having someone in the band who plays tenor drum. And so it's kind of like almost like a miniature bass drum. And then we're going to go ahead and take some questions from the floor. So does anyone have any questions? Yes?
How do you clean it?
Cleaning, what's that? So how you clean it is you take it apart, and you would take all the drones out of their stocks, the blow pipe out, and there's actually like a little flapper valve that keeps the air inflated. And hopefully Dr. Tibbetts has a way of showing you some cleaning. So you can use a pipe cleaner, and cleaning is actually very important, because otherwise you can get a buildup of not so nice things in your bag, because it is a living, breathing environment, literally. Traditional bagpipers use whiskey as a disinfectant. That usually tends to get the job done. I was going to say, if you have some in the little sporin, sure. Yeah, so just your average kind of like cleaning products, like Lysol wipes and soap and water. I usually clean it. Next question.
What's the sporin?
Oh, so I actually will take some of this time now to explain our garb and getup. So we here at Monmouth College follow kind of like the traditional like Scottish, British military dress. We wear these things called brogues. So these are the fancy kind of like marching shoes. And on the top there's like drilled holes into the leather, because brogues is actually a form of Scottish shoe. And when you're marching through the wet highlands of Scotland, if you step in a puddle, your foot's soaked, and it's like, man, I really don't want to be marching with a foot full of water, because that's just not fun. So the brogues are designed with little holes in the top of the shoe to let water drain out of the shoe. Next come the hose, which are the type of sock. A sock is a sock, I guess, in this case, so there's nothing special about the history. Then these red things on the side are called flashes, and they just kind of, for visual effect. So then going up, we have our actual kilt. So the color of our kilt is actually a registered Monmouth College tartan that's registered by Maclaren in Scotland in the National Tartan Registry. And so, those who have Scottish ancestry might be able to look up their own family tartan and see what's there. So this tartan is specifically unique to Monmouth College. Next is the sporin. So this is a little kind of like, I guess what you would say, like a fanny pack, almost. Oftentimes, included in the sporin is a bit of drink, perhaps, depending on who you are. Yeah.
What kind of drink?
Scotch. So that's usually included in the sporin, but you just do a general kind of like everyday stuff like that. Usually, sometimes while marching or playing, I have my phone and wallet in there. In this case, I'm carrying a tuner, because that's very important. And it just depends on what you need for the day. So next is, some of us wear belts. It's called a kilt belt. It's specifically designed for the kilt. Keep it up. Because no one wants your kilt falling down while playing, because that's just not very appropriate. So then just going up, your standard dress shirt and tie. And then if I were a tad bit cooler out, we would be wearing these things called Glengarries. Dr. T, I will let him walk the stage while we're on there. Yeah, so we wear Glengarries. There's also Balmorals. if you're more in the tradition of following, traditional like British military stuff, there are pipe bands that wear the feather bonnets, those big kind of like bearskin hats. Then we also wear ties and vests sometimes. The ties also Monmouth College, and so it's really just in the case of who the player is. Imogen actually won third place yesterday at Wisconsin Scottish Highland Games in Waukesha, placing third in her 2-4 march competition. And so her tartan is actually on its way over from Scotland. So we will get Imogen a kill here soon, but it's just her. Is it your family? Yeah. Yeah, so like Imogen was saying, her tartan is the McGregor of Aurora, but it has no like certain family ties or anything. So it's like if you want to, maybe go home and open up your bank account, see if you have enough money for a kilt, you could get a McGregor of Aurora tartan. So it's just. So a kilt, a good quality kilt can run you a couple $100. They're not cheap, because they do have, get the wool off the sheep, mill it, and then weave it into a kilt and tartan. So like a good, like these kilts from Monmouth College, probably about 260 pound. I'm not going to do the unit conversion for you, but it's kind of up there in price. ×2, yeah. Do I have any other questions about the pipe band dress? Yes. Yeah, so back to the bag. As you're putting air into the bag, you strike it up, and the drones are calibrated. It kind of sounds like a car starting to turn over sometimes. That's the analogy I've used to explain it. And so when your bag is actually inflated, and then you have your opposite arm, so it does take a bit of coordination to keep it inflated and then keeping that constant pressure. Because if that pressure dips even a little bit, your instrument cuts out, and then you have to start all over again. And so when you are learning the bagpipe, it does take a bit of coordination and effort to keep it going. So it's definitely one of the harder instruments out there. So now I think we'll I need a quick drink break, and then we'll play a set of 3-4 marches. I'll explain something else here quick, and I'll answer your question. Someone over there explained, what is the skin do? So you'll notice that here in my right sock, I have a knife of all things, and what it's used is for getting at unsuspecting English people. So it's like, if they're trying to harass me or something, I can just go whap, and maybe poke them in the eye and then run away. But the skin do is part of the military kind of dress, and it helps keep up the sock, and that's actually what the flashes are for too, that we wear, is to keep up the sock so they don't fall down. So this fine gentleman asked, how long does it take to get up on a bagpipe? I'd probably say anywhere from about 6 months to a year, because you have to learn the main melody stuff coming out of the chanter. I'm going to put this away before I actually hurt myself. Just one. I'm not the best at multitasking, so I'm going to put my skin dube away before I hurt myself. So the question was transitioning from the, and actually what all bagpipers start out on is something called a practice chanter. The best way you could probably equate that to is like a fourth grade recorder. So it's kind of the same thing like that. So you start out on that, you master the main melody notes, and to actually articulate like and add extra stuff into the bagpipe, we play something called like grace notes and embellishments. There's probably upwards of 100 different combinations of notes that you have to play on top of the main medley notes in the bagpipe. I am very thankful for Dr. Tibbetts being here because I do not have any of the stuff in my case. But like, so this is the practice chanter. It's what all bagpipers start off on. You have to master the main medley notes when you're learning, and all the grace notes and embellishments. And it's all played in treble clef too. The only thing that's bass clef is the bass drum, which is the tall, very tall drum that we all have. One more question from the audience. So the question came from over here, and the question was like a standard setting a song like for funerals and stuff. It's really up to what the family wants the bagpiper to play. You know, Amazing Grace is a very traditional one, Going Home, and there's just you know, hundreds of marches out there. The probably most classical form of bagpipe music is this thing known as pibroch, and you know that translates in Gaelic to the big music. And so like that's a very kind of slow, lamentful is what they used to play at clan gatherings, you know, for like a deceased clan chieftain. So it's really just up to what the family wants the bagpiper to play, within reason if it fits on the bagpipe. All right, we're going to go ahead and play another set of tunes here. There are going to be 3/4 marches, and 3/4 denotes the time signature that the piece is written in. And they're just a set of marches. It's often described as retreat marches. So you may be asking yourselves, like, well, why are we retreating? Well, we don't necessarily want to get shot at from the rear, if you know what I mean. And so here is The Green Hills of Tyrol and When the Bells Are Heard.
next, we'll show off what the bass drum does in the band. So the bass drum again is played by a senior Bryn Neal from Chicago. So what Bryn does is really, help keep the band in step and keeps us on time and keeps us on beat. He plays a very important role in the band. And so the bass drums kind of come in all manner of sizes. So if you want to turn a little bit onto the side, you'll see that our college logo, which stands for Monmouth College Pipe Band, and then in the center it says light. So it's Monmouthus Coliki Scilium Lux. And so that's Latin having to do something with Monmouth College, something light. I forget what the Scilium means, but so that's kind of like what the bass drum does in the band, is really keep the band on time, in step. And you'll notice that Bryn's mallets are not like the American marching band like bass mallets. They're kind of like cut off about like 2/3 of the way to really help accent the bass drum, and it's played at a much softer, dynamic level as well. It just depends on how the music is written and what it's asking the bass drum to do. But sometimes bass drums do get even a little bit fancy. They can flourish their mallets as well. You'll see that in kind of a lot of old school pipe bands, is that the bass drummer actually flourishes along with the tenors. But I'm not going to ask you to do that. So what the bagpipe is pitched at is anywhere from 470 hertz to 490, 485, pushing now 490. That's the style and that's the frequency at what the the bagpipe chanter vibrates at. And so it's anywhere in, for those who are musically inclined, that's where that's where we tune our bagpipe at. And just anywhere from the 470s, upper 480s is where we tune that. And that kind of helps determine how everyone is sounding in the band, because you don't want someone playing at one frequency of hertz and then someone playing at something completely different, because then it sounds like the train's outside. Instead it sounds like so next we will play crowd pleaser, and what everyone kind of suspects out of a bagpiper and piping. We'll be playing Amazing Grace. Imogen will be soloing the first part through, and then we'll come in on the second time around, and then we'll play one more tune for going out, and then we'll answer questions at the end. So one thing you'll notice is that I often walk towards the band, and that signals to the drummers to go ahead and like start cutting us off. That way we're not going over and going back over a piece of music that we don't intend to. So just kind of rounding up here, does anyone have any kind of like questions that you want answered that I may not have touched? Yeah, so actually every year I take the band down to this, and this is going to sound weird, but it's an actual real thing, is a bagpiping convention down in Kansas City. There's an actual thing as a bagpiping convention. It's like a Star Trek convention, but worse. So what this like convention is, it's an opportunity for my students to learn from some of the best that fly over from Scotland to Kansas City in the middle of January. It's cold, but it's an incredible learning opportunity for the students. And so that's one of the places we go. Sometimes in years past when the band had a little bit bigger numbers and we were able to compete, and there's actually bagpipe competitions too, and solo competitions like I mentioned earlier, because actually yesterday was the Wisconsin Scottish Highland Games in Waukesha, Wisconsin. A huge big one in the Midwest is the Chicago Highland Games in June. So you can travel, across the United States. There's some down in Australia. There's, obviously in Scotland. And actually in 2026, I also forgot to mention that I play with Celtic Cross pipes and drums, but Kimzey and I will actually be going to Scotland to be competing in the World Pipe Band Championships in 2026. So we hope to get a huge run in 2 years. So yeah, it's just how far the band, train, playing can carry you. It's however far you can go. Any other questions?
Are you two related?
Yes, I guess I also didn't mention that. Kimzey is also my wife. And I know it sounds weird, Mackenzie Kimzey, but her maiden name is actually Campbell. And the Campbells are a huge part of Scottish history. They did not so nice things to the McDonald's back in the 17th century, perhaps inviting them to a dinner and then murdering them. Have you ever heard the song by the Corys? It's called Glencoe. That's the song where it talks about the Campbells slaughtering the McDonald's in their own homes. So, nice job on the Campbell name. Any other questions from the crowd?
How long did it take to get proficient in playing?
What was your question?
How long did it take to get proficient in playing?
Yeah, well,
Forever in life?
it just depends on who you are. I was thankful enough to have a very well-rounded experience at Monmouth College and learning from people that came on the East Coast, teach me, and that really, shuttled me off on my bike band journey. But everyone learns at their own speed, so there's nothing saying that you have to have, everything down on your practice chair and up in pipes in like 6 months. Sometimes it takes that 6 months to a year. Sometimes it takes even more. Because everyone is a unique individual and learner. Any other questions?
Cut that off. I'm going to take it on my slide.
So how many of my students knew they were going to be in a pipe band? So I guess I would leave that to Peter and Bryn. And Peter gave me about a so-so, and then Bryn, she didn't even know that we had a pipe band. She just walked into practice one day and was like, I could do bass drum. And I was like, okay. And so when I was going to Monmouth College, I knew, because I started learning before I started as a freshman. I've almost been playing for 10 years, and I don't like to admit that, because that means I'm getting old. But I started it, I knew I wanted to be part of the pipe band. I wanted to have the bags under my arm and just really, really take off playing bagpipes. And then Imogen is actually a recipient of our bagpiping and Highland drumming scholarship, so she kind of has to be here. Any other questions? Yeah, she tolerates us, and she's been on campus for 2 weeks. And she still has, like 4 years to go. So, yeah.
Where else do you play at Monmouth? How often do you play at Monmouth?
How often we play at Monmouth is we play for every home football game. And so what we do at the football game is we lead the football team out. And you know, it really pumps up the crowd, pumps up the players, hearing the pipes going, and really gets them fired up for some Monmouth college football. So we do that. We play for graduation, matriculation, all sorts of things. We often get requested as Bagpipers on campus to, like, you know, do funerals and weddings. Dr. Tibbetts actually played for a wedding of 2 alumni that recently got married in June.
Also, don't forget the tree dedication.
Oh yeah, and we also play for tree dedications in case you wanted around like Earth Day or something like that. If you want a nice tree dedicated, you know, there's a contact form on the college website for the pipe band. We'll come and play for your tree dedication. We play for about everything under the sun, really. Oh yeah, and if you want to catch us again, I feel like going over to Galesburg, Illinois. We're playing in the Labor Day Parade there tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we're playing in the Pride Beef Parade in Monmouth. And then Saturday is our first home football game against Wartburg College. So that will be quite the experience. Saturday is the football game, why not? Saturday night. Any other questions from the crowd? All right, well, thank you for having us here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We're remember, go Scots. Roll Scots, my bad. I forgot.